Tonight on the Goblin's Corner.
Stupid spells.
Abnormal Abjuration.
That's how we roll. 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 That's how we roll.
Welcome to the Goblin's Corner. My name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
And tonight,
We're doing stupid spells.
part 2.
Ooh.
Abnormal Abjuration. We've done stupid spells, what is it, like 6 months ago? Something
Yeah,
like that? Yeah,
sure.
we're going to say 6 months ago. And it was, people liked it.
Sure.
And we taught you how to make your own custom spells, not necessarily whether they're stupid or not.
Right. Just a couple weeks ago.
And
a month ago, whatever.
we thought, why not make another stupid spells? They're fun.
Yeah.
They're good at parties.
Yeah.
And I just like making these things, honestly.
Sure. And, it gives us an excuse to remind people that stupid spells exist for a reason.
That's right.
But first,
We have the question of the week.
indeed,
What delightful nonsense do we have this week, Matt?
I'm keeping it on theme, man. We're doing abjuration spells. So,
Okay.
what form does your personalized protective spell take, and how does it protect you?
If I'm going to actually have a personalized protection spell,
So, first off, give me a fantasy setting and give me a Star Wars answer.
oh, okay, excellent. So fantasy setting going to be way different than my.
Well,
I
sure.
wasn't going to go Star Wars actually.
Oh,
I was
you
going to go. No, I was going to go sci-fi, but I was going to do
Oh,
like
okay.
an Akira type style, like anime.
Oh, that works. Yeah.
But, all right. Let's do that. Let's do that one first because
Okay.
that's the one I remembered. That's the answer I had in my head. So first off, I kind of go Gaiva, psh, and the spell is some kind of barrier armor.
Okay. What's it look like, though?
There's steam.
Oh, well,
Obviously.
I mean, sure.
There's got to be steam because I have to win the fight. And by the way, if you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, I have this theory about anime. He who steams the most wins the fight. Think about it. Whenever the hero turns into whatever the hell they're turning into, whoever steams more than the other person, that's the person that's going to win that battle. So I steam more than anything else. And in fact, the spell is just steaming.
Yeah.
So I go, I scream something like Gaiva, and instead of turning into anything at all, I just create a lot of steam and then I walk out exactly as I was before, because then everyone turns around and goes, oh man, he just walked out of that giant cloud of steam. He must have become his ultimate form.
It's a column.
Yeah, it's just a giant
whirling column of
It's just
steam.
a giant column of steam. And that's it. That's all it does. You know what? That could apply, honestly, to my fantasy character as well. But I would say for fantasy,
You know what I think the answer to how does that protect you? I think
intimidation.
it's actually a fear effect.
Yeah. Walked out of giant. He obviously turned into something.
Right. And people are just like, but maybe not. Maybe I just go now.
Would you like to try that? Go ahead, test me. All right, so for a fantasy setting, I think it would be, what would it be actually?
I don't know.
I don't know either. No, I do. I would say something ridiculous.
Okay.
I think I want to come out as a big cloud of steam in a
You
fantasy
just
situation.
steaming?
I just want to steam for both, really.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just think it would be hilarious. Now, what would be more amusing in a fantasy setting is that I walk out in a big cloud of steam, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's intimidated and they're feared because I've turned into something horrible, even though I look completely normal. But in reality, it's an illusion because I have envisaged myself and run behind them so that I can stab them in the back, because my illusion will then wave his hand and I stab them in the back. Because I have greater invisibility, they think, oh my God, he just waved his hand and the guy's head just burst.
Sure.
So, yeah. So basically, steam a lot. That's my abjuration effect. What about you?
For a fantasy setting, I think I would just do something normal, right? Just like indestructible overalls.
Are they the blue farmer's overalls or are they the
No.
green overalls? You gonna be Mr. Green Jeans?
I think I do gray.
Gray?
Yeah.
So you just summon overalls?
Yes. But because this is abjuration, right? They are completely indestructible by normal means.
Okay.
just walk through the campfire. Like,
Are they indestructible by abnormal means?
no, absolutely not.
Okay, so they're just really sturdy overalls.
Yeah,
I like that. But that allows you to walk through a fire.
it does. It
And-
also allows you to sleep comfortably. Like nothing's ever going to poke through them. You're not going to, it's good napping wear.
Yeah, I like that.
No thorns.
No thorns.
Oh yeah, no, that's great for trekking through the wilderness.
Repel stains.
Yeah.
That's always important when you're wearing overalls.
No, they're allowed to get stained.
You can-
They're overalls.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't own a pair of overalls, so
I know.
we live in Georgia, but that doesn't mean we.
You're supposed to, man.
Yeah. Do you own a pair of overalls and you'd like to share them with us? Write to us. info@goblinscorner.com.
Do not share your overalls.
Don't share
with
your
us.
overalls, please. Or you can reach me, Eric@goblinscorner.com, or.
Me, Matt at goblinscorner.com.
And of course, you can find us on all the things and Twitter. Hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah, we're mostly on Twitter.
And seriously, don't share your overalls with us.
Yeah.
Unless they're new. You can send me a pair.
Sure.
You want to? I'd rock the
I
overalls.
don't want to keep woman in overalls.
I want a
I've seen-
utility really over overalls.
Well, that's why I have a utility kilt.
I know. I don't have one yet, but I
Right.
will soon. All right. So we're talking crazy
Yep.
here. Let's
Here we
get to
go.
the stupid spell stuff. So first off,
Let's quit talking crazy and start talking crazy.
let's talk a little bit more crazy. All
Okay.
right. That's where we're going here. First off, stupid spells. What is a stupid spell? For the purposes of this episode, we're just using this exercise to define stupid being some kind of spell that's not necessarily a mechanical advantage. It could be.
Could be.
But or even
Slightly,
a minor,
yeah.
like a minor advantage. These are flavor spells because, again, as we mentioned many times before, owlbears exist for a reason because wizards are crazy.
Yeah.
Just look, you have all that power just flooding your veins, and you've gone crazy. Sorcerers are crazy. Warlocks are crazy. Any type of the whole game in World of Darkness of Mage, they're crazy.
Yes.
They're driven mad by their power.
Yes.
And you're gonna do some loopy like you are. I would.
I was just about to say.
I do it all the time, and I don't even have any magical powers.
If I had magical powers, there are simple things that, like I said, forget indestructible clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I hate dealing with tearing clothes and stuff like that, especially like when I used to hike a lot. Can you imagine clothing that no thorn would pierce?
That would be awesome.
That's the dream. It's a dream, not the dream. But
I would have the car that could weave through traffic, or and that's either weaving through traffic because maybe it thins like the Harry Potter type thing,
sure.
like the bus, or it just makes the other cars explode, and I just drive straight.
Pretty sure that's evocation.
Whatever. It's good enough for me. So, all right. So, yeah. So, some kind of mechanical advantage. Now, a stupid spell could also be wasteful or flippant.
Sure. We did that in the last one.
And
Ludwig's luxurious locks.
yes.
It's
where
just,
you
perfect hair.
Just perfect hair does your due. It's wonderful. I personally enjoy spells that have some kind of potential to be detrimental to the character as well,
Sure.
because why not? They're stupid spells.
A spell that does not have a range long enough to put the caster out of the spell.
Is amusing as hell.
Yeah. We'll do that when we get to evocation.
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. We'll do an evocation stupid spell set as well. And of course, speaking of amusing, they should be very amusing.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're there for your amusement or
your parties.
Yeah.
And finally, we're focusing tonight specifically on abjuration magic because we feel that abjuration magic doesn't get enough love.
it's true. I rarely play with abjuration
I know.
magic.
They're pretty boss in third. The
Oh, I mean, it's not that it's not useful. It's just that I don't usually play with it much.
it's true. So we've come up with a couple of stupid spells that are all abjuration based. And remember, wizards are crazy. Look at the owlbear.
There we go.
That's it. That's the reason. So all right, so on to the spells. Let's jump into a couple of spells. We've got what do we got? 6
Yep.
here. And I believe you've got the first one. This is a second level abjuration spell.
It is.
And we're going, by the way, before we jump into that, we're going D&D here,
Sure.
but there's nothing to say that you can't take what we've created, add it into whatever campaign, whether you're playing Pathfinder, easy. You're playing, any D20 system, super easy.
Sure.
You're playing anything World of Darkness, also
Relatively
simple. Anything else, if you can't do it, hit us up. We'll adapt this to your game of choice. I'd be more than happy to spend a minute or two and help adjust the mechanics for this stuff. But
Sure. And some of it is, take the first spell, for example, right? It is non-mechanical, so the theme should be able to...
It's flavor.
Yeah. Okay, the first one I had a name for,
Mm-hmm.
but you suggested I rename it
Yes.
to the Ludwig's Impeccability.
You had a Nara's Impeccability?
I did. But because we feel like Ludwig is the kind of caster who also probably would have...
He would totally have
made
this.
the spell.
Yeah. Ludwig.
Ludwig, yes. Second level Abjuration,
Mm-hmm.
verbal somatic material,
Okay. What's the material component?
a small charm of a small silver charm of a whisk broom worth at least 7 gold, 3 copper.
That's very specific. Did you do that for a reason?
No, it's a stupid spell.
Okay.
That was the whole reasoning behind it.
Just making sure.
I figure, when somebody's making a stupid spell, they're going to do it on the cheap. And I could have gone with 10 gold, but it turns out you can do it with 7.3 or 7.03. So that's...
I think that if you do this as a ritual spell, because it should be a ritual. You don't have it as a ritual, but if you did,
yeah, absolutely.
the entire ritual, you should talk about how you could do it for 7 gold, 3 copper.
So let me tell you how I knocked this down. I knocked almost 30% off the cost of this spell.
Yeah, you have to mention Costco at some point,
Sure.
or whatever. I think that would be a fun ritual component to that. All right, continue.
Okay. So the actual spell is, upon casting this spell, the tiny wisp broom animates and spotlessly cleans, mends, and presses the caster and their allies' clothing.
So it's the Magician's Apprentice from Disney.
Yes, similar. Yeah. Moreover, for the next 24 hours, these outfits will be cleaned, mended, and pressed as an incident should occur. Like if you get a nick or a scratch on it, it mends it.
So like as the spell mend?
Yes.
Okay.
As the cantrip mend.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a spell. Yeah. What's the range on this?
It is a 10-foot radius from the caster.
Okay.
So
it just kind of radiates out.
Yep.
Nice.
Any danger that is greater than that which could be mended remains.
So since it's a 10-foot radius, would other people's clothes mend as well?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, it does mention the caster and allies.
Okay, so you don't have to wear those clothes. That's nice. That's a very useful spell.
Correct.
Not necessarily stupid, but very useful. Flippant.
That was exactly...
Which is the category that I was wondering about.
Yes.
And of course, how often this is going to show up in a game? Depends on your role-playing opportunity. Maybe you're running a medieval laundromat.
No, it will show up in every game.
For you, yeah.
No, just think about this. Okay, just follow me here.
Okay.
Your adventurers are covered in gore like 40% of the time. Maybe higher.
Definitely with the characters I play with, yes.
But in the adventuring party, altogether, there's always somebody that's covered in gore.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're clean.
Oh, pristine.
In fact.
That could be their whole deal as an adventuring party.
Sure.
I like that.
I've got a floaty. Sorry. That's for the camera. The people who just saw me look up kind of crazy like there's an object.
Matt went squirrel for just a second.
I did. There was an object floated by. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So the next one
is one of my creations. It is a first level abjuration. Now, this is also a ritual spell, which if you play with the ritual magic in 5th edition, it is called LoJack.
Okay. I recall that name.
Verbal, somatic, and material. The material component is a small rectangular piece of metal with a red garnet button worth 10 gold. Casting time, 1 action, range touch.
Should have gone to Ludwig. Could have got that down to 7.93.
No, I didn't, though. It's too bad. The area is 1 object no larger than 30 foot on a side.
Okay. So fairly sizable
Yeah,
object.
but one object. So it could be anything small or big. So you could do a boat.
Yeah.
You could do
A house.
horse-drawn carriage,
Yeah.
for example. And it's an 8-hour duration. The description goes as follows. You point your material focus at the object of choice, and with a whoop whoop, a magical sensor is placed on it. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
If we haven't beat this over the head. Upon a creature touching the object protected by the LoJack, a sonic screech audible to 300 feet is emitted, and anyone within 10 feet of the object must make a con save to avoid going temporarily deaf for 1 minute. Because it's loud.
Mhm.
The screech continues until you disarm it using a reaction, or 1 minute passes, after which the LoJack resets until the spell's duration expires.
Excellent.
Now, again, I play with detriments. There is a 10% chance every hour that something will randomly set the LoJack spell off. A fly, a falling leaf, someone walking too close to the spell area, and so forth. You may cast a spell as a ritual, but in this instance, the caster must wash, polish, and fawn over the object in question for the entire ritual duration. You're speechless, aren't you?
That's fantastic. I like it.
That's all you have to say.
I do. Well, I mean, I got the LoJack joke from
course you
word
did,
go, but
It's a delight.
the ritual is just hilarious.
It's perfect.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. Yeah,
perfect. I love this. All right. Now you've got one which I think is awesome, and I think this would be a fun spell in a fight.
Yeah.
Which is next. 2nd level, I believe.
Yes. It is Scent of the Queen.
Tell us a little bit about Scent of the Queen.
All right. Well, it's a 2nd level abjuration, as all of these are abjuration.
Sure.
The casting time is 1 action. The range is self, so you can't cast this on your fighter. You gotta
put it on yourself.
Yep.
Sure.
The area is melee.
Mm-hmm.
That's important because that could be a short melee weapon or a ranged melee weapon.
Oh, nice.
So I made a new category for that.
Yeah.
The duration is
DMs are like furiously looking in rulebooks going, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, guys. It's a stupid spell.
the duration is concentration up to a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's verbal somatic material.
What's the material component?
Royal jelly.
Ah, now I know where you're going with this.
Yes, indeed. You are covered in a protective layer of bees. Any successful melee attack against you results in the perpetrator of such attack being stung by vengeful bees, taking 1d8 piercing and 1d8 poison damage.
And people are freaking out because you're covered in bees.
Sure. Now, here's the thing, though, okay? What we don't mention is
They're bees?
the duration is concentration up to 1 minute. Do you see anywhere in the spell wherein it says the bees depart?
No.
No.
And there's nothing in the spell that says they don't sting you. Or that because you're covered in a swarm, you automatically
It
have
is a
disadvantage.
protective layer of
Okay.
bees.
Okay. That's good to know because that would be hilarious as well.
For as 1 minute or as long as you maintain concentration.
Sure.
And at the end of the spell, you are
Attacked by a swarm of bees.
well, I mean, you're covered in bees. Bees, depending on the bees, are not innately hostile.
But they could just, if they're a swarm and you've been repeatedly been attacked, they could just be mad at you.
Or they could just be mad in general.
Just
And
pissed off. And,
yeah, and now you've got a swarm of bees
Mhm.
as part of the encounter.
You need to conjure a smoke cloud to get rid of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love
Or just
that.
steam.
Or you could just steam the most. You know what's funny is, talking about steaming the most, that's not actually one of the spells that we've written down.
Steam the most? No, it's
yeah,
not.
it should be though.
Well, that's your personal spell.
I'm going to write that spell.
And actually, that doesn't really have a downside.
No, it really doesn't. Does it?
So, and it's not flippant. It has a purpose.
Sure.
So maybe it's not as stupid as you thought.
Maybe not. We'll have to think about that. All right. We've got, what do we got? 4 more? We have 7. We can't count tonight either.
It's all right. I'm just laughing about your next spell, man.
All right. So I have, again, this is a barrier spell as well.
It is. It's a cantrip.
It is a cantrip. It's just a somatic
Sure.
And you just do a little thing, right? It's called Vegetative Barrier. Its casting time is reaction. Its range of self, no area. And its duration is only 1 round. It's a cantrip, right?
Sure.
A cantrip prized by comics, poets, and entertainers of all stripes, Vegetative Barrier protects the caster from any type of damage or soiled clothing caused by non-magical plant matter, particularly the thrown kind, for 1 round. Your bard wants this spell.
Yeah. Or the bad comedy, bad comedian.
By the way, I would also say instead of like a somatic type thing, you could do a verbal and you just go waka waka, and it just it protects you from throwing tomatoes or cabbage and lettuce and stuff.
Yeah, man. That's Fozzie, actually. It's actually named Fozzie's Vegetative Barrier.
Fozzie's Vegetative Barrier. I love that. Now, you're thinking, okay, this is cute. And obviously it's a stupid spell, but this could potentially save your life.
Sure.
Let me give you an example. The giant rips the tree out of the ground to use as a club and tosses at you. It's a thrown, non-magical plant.
Yep.
You could literally stand right in front of it and go, "Screw you, giant." And then everybody goes, "Damn, that guy's a badass."
Look at that. And then he hits you with a rock and you die.
Yep. And that's it. That's the end of you. Who knew you were only first level?
Right. At that point, the question is the giant smart enough to recognize to switch well, it depends on the type of giant.
Yeah, that's a good point. Could be
the kind of giant that picks a tree up is probably the kind of giant that's dumb enough to not realize.
Yeah. Just pick up whatever is handy.
Because Cloud Giant has his own weapon. He's not picking up a tree.
No. Cloud Giant's just laughing at you from up in the clouds. I mean, that's where they are, chilling in the clouds.
It's like they got the name for a reason.
All right. We got 3 more spells, but we'll be back
after these messages.
This is a commercial break. If you guys would like to hear us review something like a product or service, or if you'd like us to cover something like a topic,
or if you'd like to sponsor an episode, we'd love to hear from you and have you contact us at info@goblinscorner.com.
So write to us and maybe we'll talk to you. Maybe not. And we're back.
Welcome back.
All right. When we last left off, we were talking stupid spells, abnormal abjuration.
Indeed.
And we had said earlier that we had 6 delightful spells to show you. And we actually had 7. And then we took a break. And we realized that we actually have 8 spells.
Yes.
Which this episode is just getting increasingly more ridiculous as time progresses. So this is perfect for this episode.
Yes.
I think. And you have one that you just wrote. Very powerful spell. 9th level abjuration.
Ooh.
And I cannot wait to hear it.
All right. It is Capricious Protection.
Not capricious?
No.
Capricious.
Yes.
So goat?
Yes, like Caprica. Yeah.
Okay. Making sure we're going with the same thing here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
9th level abjuration.
Okay. Very powerful.
Duration, 10 minutes, which isn't very long for such a powerful spell. Target, self.
Mm-hmm.
Casting time, 1 action. Verbal, somatic, material.
Okay. I'm going with this.
The material component is a goat skull helmet that you have to wear while the spell is in effect.
Okay.
Okay. This very specifically targeted spell protects the caster from any and all goat-like creatures. Any creature with a distinctly goat-like feature cannot affect the target either physically, magically, or using abilities. This is the top of the line in goat protection.
So it just protects you from goat-like creatures or goats.
Yep. Yes.
So demons.
But if they've got strongly goat-like features, yes, indeed.
Okay.
So my theory was there's an archmage who had some goat phobia.
Mm-hmm. Afraid of goats.
Yeah. And they just finally got to the point where they had strong enough magic and they're like, never.
No more goats.
No more goats. And they just always keep it mimed. And if it comes up, they're just like, bam, now what?
Goats can be creepy. They got those sideways eyes.
Man, they have the craziest eyes. If you aren't aware of that, look up a close-up picture of goat eyes.
They're kind of weird looking.
And then I apologize for you having
They
done
pee
that.
on their beards. The males do.
They do. Well, they got to freshen up for the ladies.
Ugh.
That is what it's for.
Yeah. All right. I'm down with that. Now, that's definitely a stupid spell. And it's something that honestly could actually be useful depending upon where you're going. You're rolling into the abyss.
Yeah.
You might meet some goat-like creatures. Could be a very powerful goat-like creature.
Yeah.
And in which case you're just like, haha, you got goat horns? I'm cool, until they polymorph into something else.
Right. If you're wandering into a Ibixian city, then you could just you've got 10 minutes worth of wanton destruction before you've got to get out.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
That was not the intent, but it occurred to me.
Think about that. That could definitely happen. I like that. That's delightful.
I'm here to help. So you got a very personalized spell here.
This one is called Milkbane.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a 3rd level abjuration spell.
3rd. Okay.
Yeah.
So in line with Fireball.
I'm serious about this spell.
Okay.
Verbal somatic material. The material is a drop of soy milk, which the spell consumes.
Okay.
Casting time, 1 action. Range of self. No area. Duration, 8 hours.
8. Okay.
That's a 3rd level spell.
Yeah.
That's not bad. With a moo moo sound and fingers to the brow like a cow horn, the caster creates a protective barrier against milk products, cheese, or any lactic secretions of a bovine or mammalian nature.
Okay.
Any products of a milk-like nature and potentially other secretions at the whim of the DM, if they're feeling froggy,
Sure.
or if they're feeling mammalian, cannot physically pass through the milk bane from any side.
Okay.
So just basically, milk can't physically pass
The
through
barrier.
the barrier, at all. Now, the barrier itself is skin touch, so skin range. So
Right.
potentially allows the caster to walk on milk.
Sure.
If you find an ocean of milk or a vat large enough.
Yeah. If you're in a cheesery, what are those called?
A cheesery?
Yeah.
That's
a
what we're
place
called.
that makes cheeses.
A cheesery.
I mean, we're calling it a cheesery
It's
now.
what it's called now, yeah. Or the demiplane of milk.
Yes.
That could also happen too. Alternatively,
The cow level.
the cow, oh yeah, there is no cow level. Alternatively, this spell protects the user from the harmful effects of consuming dairy if they are lactose intolerant for the duration.
Okay. Sure.
I made the spell for me.
Yeah, I know. I've met you.
I can't eat dairy, guy. Actually, I can eat cheese. But milk.
If it's old enough cheese.
Yeah, but milk messing me up. So, all right. So you've got one, which
It's true. And
Now-
it's
now-
going to sound strange.
until you hear the last spell. Now,
Right.
what I love about this, and I have to stop you because what I love specifically is that you came up with this spell. I came up with my spell. Neither of us talked before we wrote these spells down, and yet we both came up with the same theme.
Yes.
This is why we're doing a podcast together.
In fact. And some of you will get it and some won't.
If you don't get it, write to us.
We'll explain it.
We'll give you the episodes,
Oh, yeah. So,
or we'll show them to you. They're probably on YouTube someplace.
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah. It was hilarious to me when we were discussing it was the fact that you and I at separate locations both managed this. So mine is Murdoch's Madness Shield.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4th level abjuration. The duration is 8 hours. Target is self.
Okay. So we got any verbal somatic material type stuff?
It's probably just verbal.
I could see
I
that.
think
Maybe
so.
a little somatic, like some kind of weirdness going on there.
Sure. I can see that. Or, where people do the little curly Q finger by their head to indicate that either they're crazy or somebody else is.
Okay, I'm down with that.
So you are afflicted with a mental flaw. Okay?
All right.
You are.
So you get it. So the spell gives you a flaw.
Yes. But while you're afflicted, you cannot be forced to suffer from any other form of madness or compulsion. It does not protect you, however, from direct psychic damage.
So that's potentially useful.
It's potentially very useful.
Potentially,
It's,
depending upon the flaw that you get. And I would say, as a DM, You roll on the flaws.
I think you should have a
Because
flaw
it could
chart.
be anything, minor phobia to I'm psychotic and I'm going to kill the rest of the party characters.
Right.
Which, again, would be hilarious as well.
Or, you're hunting like mind flayers or creatures
Mhm.
that use brain affecting stuff. And suddenly you're afraid of the dark.
Oh, that would be very bad.
That's a super unfortunate phobia.
Yeah, you're messed up if that happens. You're screwed.
Or you're afraid of tentacles
And you're fighting an aboleth
or mind flayers.
or a mind flayer
Yeah.
or anything with tentacles, really. Tentacles are all kinds of aberrations have tentacles. Seems to be the theme.
Most aberrations have
I would say,
tentacles.
except the beholders don't. Some do. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Deep spawn.
You got to love some deep spawn.
All right. So there is a theme to that, although it's not readily apparent until
We get to the next one, but I'm going to go ahead and just jump the gun on just a little bit of it. I should also say it gives you the ability to pilot something that flies.
Oh, right. Yeah. It either gives you the ability to fly or the ability if there's no conveyance in your world,
Mm-hmm.
right? If there's not flying ships or anything like that, then it gives you the ability to fly.
For a round.
Sure.
I would say,
Not for 8 hours. Yeah.
you know how,
That's,
for some of the spells, like you can fly in a burst and then the spell drops.
Sure.
So you can maybe just fly for a round and then you have to recast the spell.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Or you can pilot a plane,
or yeah.
which is also hilarious. Now, why are we talking about piloting a plane? Why is it called Murdoch, guys? Have you figured this out yet? Well, it's because we came up with the same damn theme. So mine is a 9th level abjuration, the epitome of protection spells, my friends. It's called Barrier Armor Baracus,
Mm-hmm.
otherwise known as BA.
B.A. Baracus.
You've, in fact, correctly assessed this. Verbal, somatic, and the material component is the largest gold chain you can find, which is consumed with the spell. Yeah.
Hence,
Casting time, 1 action, range of 30 feet, area 120 feet. You'll see why in a second. Duration, for as long as BA wishes to stick around.
sure.
Because you never know.
Yeah.
With an arcane flourish and a swinging of the gold chain, you summon the mightiest protector of the multiverse as seen. A creature not just known for his impressive strength and feats of heroism, but also a master of interpersonal life lessons. What are you laughing at?
Matt, I see after school specials.
Absolutely. This mighty archon appears in a nondescript black van with red stripes, and on your turn blocks all creatures and objects, helpful or harmful, from entering your space, whether you wanted him to or not. Now, he does not block any energy or any spells or anything like that. He just blocks stuff from entering your square.
Right.
Just psh, 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 psh. Barrier Armor Baracus protects you from anything entering your space for up to a minute, and then looks you up and down and proceeds to tell you how to better yourself. Common suggestions should include staying in school, going to a house of worship, imbibing massive quantities of milk, getting enough sleep, and proper grooming. The DM should be encouraged to come up with the more elaborate and wholesome suggestions as needed.
And don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs. Stay in school. Should the caster be in a particularly dire, to BA's mind, straits, the Archon will hang around as long as it takes for his gentle guidance to help. He may also decide that the caster's associates also need some tough love, in which can lead to more life lessons, hijinks, and so forth. Barrier Armor Baracus is completely powerless against anything that flies.
And also, this spell should be cancelable, not counterspelled by, because it has to take effect first.
Sure,
But it can be cancelable by the sleep spell.
I totally agree with that. Yes. So there you have it. I love that both you and I came up with A-team spells.
Yes.
And I promise you, we did not intentionally set out to do this. It just happened.
That's
why-
because that's why we're friends.
Yeah. So this is what happened. So
I am kind of surprised that neither of us came up with Big Trouble in Little China spells.
it's next on the
Maybe
list.
it's because they're abjuration.
Or evocation, conjuration,
Yeah.
you know?
I think
Balls of
abjuration is
flame,
the
green
wrong.
flame, and all hell's breaking loose. And they say that you're involved, that you're a very dangerous person if you're protecting Jack Burton. Anyhow, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. Some stupid spells for you to use Abjuration-wise, you can throw out your characters, throw in your game, modify as you see fit. We'll
Yeah.
throw these up on the website as well.
Sure. That sounds like a great plan. I don't think we can miss anything because we just invented them. So,
Correct. But if you have any ideas, perhaps.
yeah, we would love to hear your stupid abjuration spells.
Yeah.
This was actually, like I said, this was a tough one for me because I'm not an abjuration person.
It's
so.
true. And I always play a wizard, so this was just a day in the park for me. But yeah, if you guys have any spells, write to us. info@goblinscorner.com, or you can reach me, Eric, at goblinscorner.com.
Or me, Matt, at goblinscorner.com.
We're on all the things. We are Goblins Corner on Twitter,
Facebook,
Pinterest,
YouTube,
and Twitch.
woo. We're also the Goblins Corner
On
on
Instagram. And of course, goblinscorner.com for all of the places you can listen to us in terms of podcasting. And
All of our other links, but also,
TeePublic.
yes, we've got merch. I was actually going to say we also have a couple articles up.
We do, in fact, have some articles as well. Do you like our show? Subscribe to the podcast on your favorite player of choice, YouTube or Twitch. And of course, if you'd like to click those 5 stars or give us a review, ring the bell, or whatever the hell else social media decides to come up with in the next few weeks to year, please do. Gives us the warm fuzzies, tells more people about our show, helps get the word out.
And let's face it, it powers the algorithm.
Yes. Power of the almighty algorithm.
Oh my God, that would make a great patron for a D20 game.
Absolutely. The patron of the mighty algorithm,
Yeah,
Divination Warlock.
yeah.
There you go. There's the next one. That's all the time we have for tonight.
You're welcome, folks.
Yeah. Once again, my name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
We'll see you next time.
Good night.
The Goblins Corner is written and produced by Eric Holden and Matt Staples.
The music is by the Mighty D20.
This has been a Subterranean production.